All right, and we are live. Movies Digest. Return. I'm just...
That's the pre-show, guys. If you missed it, sorry, that's gone now.
The last word. LordCognito, Ebontis, Tie Guy, Travis, fresh on that Thursday evening campfire. Lots to talk about. Ebontis, the cheetah, how we doing, sir? What's been going on with you?
Doing good. You joked about movies, but honestly, I could do a movie podcast and talk
I
about so
know.
many
You're
movies.
built for that. Yeah.
I love movies. I actually saw Civil War, the one that just came out, not the Marvel one,
I was
the
about
one
to
that
say,
just
ooh.
came out. I'm not gonna the plot
I hear it's
is
good.
it is actually
Mhm.
quite good because it is. I saw it in IMAX and the sound is just like damn, very fitting for those moments to a point where like it takes place during a civil war in the United States in kind of a modern era. They don't go into the plot, they don't go into who sides on who. They just kind of it's told from a different perspective than you would expect. Sorry.
No, you're good.
Midnight's out there in the
Midnight.
hallway.
Yeah, I get
So
midnight. Excited.
it's just told from a very different perspective. But man, it was just like visceral. There's one scene in it that is just like hair on standing up on the back of your neck, but it is just very well shot, very well done, like cinematically. And man, that's one of those that if you see it, it's just you walk out of there and going, yeah, it just sits heavy when you're done.
Mm.
But it's just very well shot, very well made. It's Alex Garland, if you know some of the other stuff he's done, like 28 Days Later, I think. No.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Was he
I remember
28
that.
Days? No, I think it was Ex Machina and
Oh, okay.
I'm probably getting two things confused. But it's just a
Mm.
really well-made movie, and then it's also like the ending, I'm sure it'll be a little bit divisive, but as you go through it, it just kind of it shows the perspective of something most people wouldn't imagine, but it is
Mm.
something that a lot of people probably should see because of how real it makes
So,
things that a lot of
this
people
is a movie podcast now.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
definitely.
so
Yeah, we
anyway,
definitely.
I saw that over the weekend. I saw Spider-Man on
Mhm.
Monday. 2002
Oh,
Spider-Man. They're re-releasing them with the
wow.
Sony ones.
The
So I
Sony
went and go
one.
back.
Yeah.
So the Tobey Maguire 2002.
It's a Thanksgiving movie. Certified
Oh
Thanksgiving
yeah,
movie.
that's in there. That's right.
You
Mhm.
should, yeah, that's the movie you watch at Thanksgiving Day. For sure.
Funny. The funny thing about that, like I like cars, like some of you may or may not know. Like I'm a
Of
big
course,
car
we know.
fanatic, but it was so funny because of all the different things in the movie. You got a little bit of cheesy CGI when he's doing a couple things. You got a couple cheesy lines because it's like the first
Mm.
one.
It is Sam Raimi. He loves his camp.
Yeah, I mean
Yes.
it's in there, but I was like, that was all totally fine. Like that still fit, but it was the fact that Flash Johnson, the car that he got was the
Uh-oh.
Plymouth Prowler, and I guarantee you
Uh-oh.
half of the people listening to this don't even know what the hell that car is.
Probably me.
Yeah, go look it up. It is the Plymouth Prowler, and it is like the fact that that car was the hot item for him to get in that movie dated it so fast for
Mm.
me. I was like, oh man, and it was actually funny because Kirsten Dunst is in Civil War, and she's also in
Yes.
Spider-Man, so that was actually kind of a funny
Ooh.
thing to go to.
Ooh,
So
that's
saw
clean.
those
I like
two,
that.
and then
Which one is she better in?
I can't remember right now.
probably the modern one, just because of she kind of embraces her character that who's just been through some stuff. I mean,
My favorite thing to come out of the original Spider-Man is, well, obviously the memes. I'm something of
Mhm.
a scientist myself.
Yes.
But I think
Yeah.
my favorite one is at the very end of the movie where she says like, lie to me or whatever, or tell me the truth or whatever, and then he like says something that it shows her like crying a single tear. Have you guys seen that meme format where it's like somebody saying like
It's
a
probably
fact they
been a
don't want to
minute.
hear or
Probably been
whatever?
a minute.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's really funny. The memes from that movie are
Yeah.
top notch.
But the one I'm looking
Yes.
forward to is I bought 2 tickets. Like I want to go see some of the older ones, but Spider-Man 2 next week I'm taking my wife because that's
Nice.
of those 3, that's the good one.
Mhm.
It's Doc Ock. That
That's the one
one's
where he goes on the front of the train, right?
yeah. I was actually trying to remember which scene that was. I was like, I think that's got to be 2 because that's also a really cool scene.
That's two. Yeah.
Yeah.
Legendary.
Have you guys seen the version? Somebody made a version of that where his limbs start coming off.
I think I seen that. Yeah.
I might have actually seen that. I think I might have seen that.
It is one of those clips that once you see it, you will never be able to watch that movie again.
Yeah, it hit different.
Because it's so horrifying.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's gonna be messy. So, anyways, movies aside, since this is not a movie podcast, but that's all of our fault, I'm pretty sure.
I'm probably on the opposite side of you, E. I used to be a big movie guy, but do so much with video games now that I kind of just don't see any
I've
movies.
dropped off. I would love to
Yeah.
probably see a lot more than I even do. I've tried to make a bit more of an effort, even if like, it's a movie that I would prefer to see, but maybe my wife wouldn't. I'll try and just go like maybe a Monday night at like 10 o'clock, like
Mhm.
one where it's not going to affect any schedule or anything. I might try, but no, I mean, I've done the same thing for about the past decade
Yeah.
with Destiny and
It's
content and other
hard,
stuff.
bro.
It's
Yeah.
hard to do because
Movies take
games.
away the game time.
Yeah, I
Like,
mean, it's like games are
tough.
so much longer anyway. It's like, am I
Mhm.
gonna, or if somebody's like, hey, go watch the show. It's only got 5 seasons. I'm like, you don't know how much TV I've missed. Same thing.
Same.
So there's a
Yeah.
couple big ones that I would love to watch, but it was like
Mhm.
where I did watch one episode of Fallout. Started good.
Oh,
Started good.
okay,
Started really
okay.
good. Kind of liked everything where it was going. So I will again try and find time to work through that pretty
Get
slow.
on
I mean,
that.
I've heard amazing things, so it's like that I want to
Get
get
on
to.
that.
I finished Tales of Kinzera. You guys will hear more about that later. I can say that I've been playing it, I've beat it, and you guys will see more about that soon. Comes out next week, and just get ready. That's all I can say for dates and stuff without breaking embargo. And then
Mhm.
today, a game that I've been waiting for so long since I saw the tease of it, Ori and the Will of the Wisps and Ori and the Blind Forest are two of my favorite platformers. Like Super Metroid was one of my games growing up.
Metroidvanias?
No, sorry, not Metroid. Those are platformers. I was thinking of Tales of Kinzera. That's the Metroidvania. Wrong
Mhm.
connection.
I think Ori is also a Metroidvania.
It kind of, yeah, I guess it is.
Kinda is.
I think I would call it that more than a platformer.
Yeah, because you don't do as much like backtracking in Ori so much, if I remember correctly.
You do. No, you do.
You do?
You get
Some.
powers that let you move differently, get double
Yeah,
jump.
the powers.
Later
It
you
seemed
dash.
fairly linear though. Like if I remember correct, it's been a minute, but again, I played both and love those games. Cried in both of them. And then their new game, No Rest for the Wicked, is
Ooh.
out as of early access today. I put about 4 hours into it, and I am loving this game. I don't know if I can say enough good things about it so far. It's just doing a lot of things that work for me specifically. So you have an ARPG setup. You have the isometric angle. You've got the world in that. You've got a little bit of gear and stuff of that nature. But it's going to be deliberate melee kind of Souls-like combat. So you've got to be very specific on the parries, which I've still got to learn that timing. I'm not doing great. But the dodges
Get a
are
shield. Makes it easier.
yeah. I was messing around with the big claymore, which is fun for damage, but it definitely and you can parry with it, but it's a learning curve.
You just have to get the timing way better. Like the shield makes it so easy.
Yep. So been
Get a little bit of
experimenting,
dex.
but it's the art style that they put together in their games.
Whew.
Both of the first two are stellar, and this one takes it to another level. I don't know if I've seen an animated cutscene that is so stylistic, but also so well animated. And you'll know as soon as you see one, if anybody who's watching me play it today, just the little, when they get to the actual people talking to each other, the expression, the like mouth animations, better mouth animations than like anything I've played recently until you get to like a really stellar game. It's just the way it's all, it's those
And
little,
it's early access.
yeah,
Which is crazy.
It's early too.
and then you get there's a tease of, hey, here's a blueprint for a chest you're gonna put in. I'm like, you're gonna get crafting in a house. You've got armor upgrades, gems, slots, all of this in like an ARPG. And the first boss fight is the first boss fight in a Souls game. It's gonna test you and make you learn kind of combat and dodging and kind of break you into everything. And then I got the first city. I was just like, how big is this early access in quotes game? And how much time can I put into this thing? But I'm loving pretty much everything I've put to it so far. I will put most things to skill. The exploration to it. I love when games reward you for exploration. If you're going to have the option to explore, make it worthwhile.
Yes.
Everywhere I went, there was something. And there was either a new area that I just kind of went down a different ladder, then I swam across this thing, and then there was an island, there was more. Everywhere I went, there was something, and typically there was a chest over there or something. Just something. And I love it when games, if it's going to be open and you give somebody the option to explore, there better be something out there. And there was. It's so far 4 hours in. I want to play it right now. I don't want to be on here. I want to play it right now. So that's where I'm at.
We want to play it right now.
Yeah,
too.
I know. So this will be a short podcast today. Thanks guys for tuning in. 14 minutes to wrap it up. And
I'm down. I
Yeah.
also
Good.
want to play. I've
Yeah,
been
I definitely
playing.
want to play. I'm
Travis,
hitting on my code right now.
yeah. Thoughts, Travis, since you've been playing as well? I don't want to steal the
Yeah,
thunder,
so
so I just want to get your
yeah,
opinion.
I've been I've been playing since 9 a.m. I'm handling IGN's review in progress for this
Woo.
game, so going to be playing a ton of it. It's very impressive. I love ARPGs, and it kind of takes away a lot of the stuff I don't like about, or some of the stuff that I think ARPGs can do better, like the turn your brain off and just reuse your powers over and over again that you get from like a Diablo is certainly not
Yeah.
there. It feels much more like an action game with more of an ARPG perspective, but it keeps all the stuff that I love about ARPGs, which is like getting the loot and changing out your abilities and doing the fun stuff like that. The art style horrifies me in some ways. The characters
Really?
look insane. With
Oh, their proportions are crazy.
their hands dangle down to their ankles.
The
Like
dude's forearms are like my thighs. It is the weirdest looking
Yeah.
thing.
Oh, we got the
but-
calf
Yeah.
situation popping
Oh,
off.
dude, the
yeah,
forearms.
if you choose a woman character, her gams, dude, are like Christmas hams. They are unbelievable. They are
Okay.
unbelievable.
Okay.
Yeah, I named my character Nian Drethal because
you
he
did.
looks like a insane person.
Mhm.
Yeah, but once you're in the actual game and you see characters and you kind of start to get used to the like long faces and like
Yeah.
oversized kind of cartoonish look,
They
and then when you
referenced it,
actually
look.
see them in a cutscene, it sort of makes sense. I think the way they intro you of just like you click create character and the first thing you see is a naked monster is super off-putting. And I really hope that in the final version they introduce the art style better so that I know I don't just get 100% thrown into this body horror. But once you're actually in the game and you start to see the art style, it makes sense and you get over the weirdness. And I actually love the art now. Just the
Okay.
characters' proportions are
All over the place.
scary. They actually are going to give me nightmares, I'm pretty sure. So they just look really stretched out, like they were on
Yeah.
one of those torture machines, that stretch their limbs.
Well, it's like take your upper arm and then your forearm are typically about the same. If you take the forearm, make it bigger than probably the upper arm noticeably, and also like my forearm would be up to my fingertips, and then my hand would be out here.
Yeah, damn.
And it's like you kind of have a little bit of the gorilla arms because like the forearms are massive and beefy. And then, but the long, tall faces, as you said, they're weird. But then when you get in a cutscene, they're so expressive, it does work. It's this.
I have a theory.
So I would love to ask them how they landed on that.
Because it's an ARPG, I have a theory that the people in this fantasy land evolved to be able to scoop up loot easily, so their hands can basically touch the ground while they're in the standing position, so they can scoop up, items and gold without having to bend over.
Yes,
And
yes.
I think it was a world building thing where they were like, if the world was all about collecting loot, what would the humans look like? What would
Or
they have
maybe it was
evolved
just a style choice.
for?
Who knows?
You know what, Ebontis? You're ruining my immersion again. Right?
He giving you the deep lore.
This is my head canon, bro.
That's
You need to
fine.
read the lore. You need to read the
He
lore.
got the grimoire. He got the grimoire.
Okay.
So yeah, aside from that though, I'm loving it. I'm surprised there's so much in the game. It has technical performance problems.
Yes, I've
like,
had
very
some frame
clearly,
chunks. Yeah.
from frame drops. But that's to be expected in early access. Everything else though so far it seems really good, and the game is fully out for people who want to buy it. So I'm trying to get my review in progress out as quickly as possible. Probably Monday I'll have like my initial thoughts, and then I'll write more whenever I finish the content. But so far so good. Really cool. Very different take on RPGs. Doesn't have classes, which is kind of interesting.
The
You're
weapons
not like
are very unique though. Like each
the
weapon
weapons
has
are
its play
unique,
style.
but you don't have a reason to make 5 different characters, each with their own, because there's not like a sorcerer and a druid like there is in some of the
I
others.
did get a staff
So it's
though
very
that
different.
actually has like a fireball as like a focus skill,
Yeah.
which is what you're working
Yeah,
on.
for those of you who say I'll wait for the review, great. That's what I prefer anyway. Please wait for the review.
Please wait for the review.
So yeah, I'll let you guys know how I feel. I also want to give a shout out to another game, a Souls-like called Another Crab's Treasure.
I want to play that too.
I am allowed to say that I am reviewing that game, and that's all. Actually, I guess a more accurate way to put it would be I reviewed that game. I'm fully done with the review. It's gone. It's just this one has a very long embargo. The embargo lifts on April 24th, which is sometime next week. And so next week, you'll be able to read my review, which is done. But for now, I'm just chilling and playing other games.
Nice.
So,
nice.
yeah, I can't say anything about that game except for that I beat it and that I have a review coming out. I can't state any opinions on it.
Exclusive.
So,
Yeah, same with me and Zhao. It's like I've beat it, and that's it.
yeah, my review is done and it'll come out later. But yeah, I'm fully on this other thing, and we also got some Eternal Strands stuff out this week.
Nice.
So if you've been
I
keeping
read-
track of that, we got
Read the article. I haven't watched today's.
Yeah, we got a preview out yesterday about the power system and physics and how you can combine powers to do crazy stuff. And then today we had an interview with the art team to talk about how they settled on their art style and how difficult it is to make your game look like it was painted and other stuff. So pretty cool. And then next week we've got our final piece for the month with Eternal Strands, which is
nice.
the world first preview. It's my full preview of Eternal Strands, me just fully opening the kimono and telling you guys what I think of this game. So good time.
With that verbiage, but okay.
I feel like you own a kimono.
I do not, but
And if you don't, you
be careful
need to
with
change that
opening others'
immediately.
kimonos.
You need to own a kimono because you would kill that look. Can you imagine Cog with a kimono smoking
What
a cigar?
size kimono is he gonna have to order from overseas?
Definitely for the beefy boys out here.
Yeah,
gonna need
I don't know, but he's gonna crush it. He's gonna crush it, dude. And he's gonna be comfy.
I respect it. I've seen
You'd
it
be
before.
farting through silk, bro. Good. It's good.
Ridiculous.
So anyway,
chat's just like kaboom.
Kaboom.
About how that would go.
Just ripped.
No doubt. But yeah, for me, being on a movie theme, finished the entire Fallout TV show.
Nice.
Absolutely loved it. Love Travis's character. He's in he made his debut in the Fallout scene. Oh man, I absolutely love bro. You killed it. You killed it in Vault 33, bro.
I did. I'm Glenn.
Yo, he is you on some level. He's just this very introspective, very dangerously curious person who gets into stuff, and it's very hilarious. He's one of my little heroes in the show. But they killed it, man. They got the essence of the show. They kept a lot of source material, and it is just addicted. It is truly addictive. I didn't expect to like it the way I did. I was kind of like E, like, oh, I'm gonna try like 1 or 2, and then I'll get back to it. Oh no. Once from episode like 2 on, I could not stop. I'm like, okay, I gotta stop. I can't watch this whole thing in one sitting. I got other things I gotta do. But yeah, man, they nailed it. They absolutely nailed it. I like where they're going. Gore, it's morally gray on a lot of levels, but the classic humor, and then what makes Fallout to me is that 1950s, that like they have all these horrible things happening with this kind of hilariously themed music going on. And as a person who played Fallout 3, there was some iconic callbacks that I'm like, oh, I know where they are. Like, you kind of think it's just for a video game adaptation. I ain't gonna front. I think I have it as the top. They really nailed this. I was blown away. And this is something I did not expect. I came in with very middling expectations. The preview seemed cool, the trailer seemed cool, but no, they did that, man. So highly recommend that. And as a result, I'm like, all right, I gotta play something Fallout. I know the Fallout 4 update is not until like the 25th. So I actually tried Fallout 76, y'all. Have never played it. Saw the horror stories at launch.
I reviewed it at launch.
Oh, bro. I'm like, this is actually not that bad. Like, they revamped the engine. Like,
yeah.
It is like a completely different thing from what I saw. That's pretty
That's
decent.
kind of the ZeniMax model, because ESO wasn't as bad as Fallout 76 when it came out, but it still wasn't great. I played it at launch too, and that game was to call it half-baked would be generous. Like, it was less than half-baked.
Oh, yeah.
And they really, really, really do not give up on their games and put in the effort. And I think in both cases, ESO and Fallout 76, like, they're much better now. My original review, I think I gave it a 4 out of 10,
Yeah, it was
and I
horrible.
titled my review "Worst Virginia."
Nice, nice. I like
You
that.
guys
Good
see
flavor.
Fallout got renewed for season 2?
Yeah,
Of course
bro.
it
Shout out to
did,
Reggie Baldwin. Do I think it's better
as
than
it should.
Look, Last of Us is great, and I think one of my episodes with Bill is kind of like one of my favorite episodes, kind of like of all time for it. But I gotta admit, Reg, I think I gotta give Fallout the better series, man. I overall that, and don't get me wrong, this is like greatness versus greatness. That's how good Fallout was to me. I was
No, I mean, that's
blown away. I highly recommend you guys check it
Yeah.
out. So that
I
was
mean, I
that.
Fallout gets
started it, I
points
wanna
for
watch
me
it.
just for not parroting the game. You know what I mean? It does its
Yeah,
own thing, which
it
to
does its
me,
own thing. Yeah.
that's what I want from games. I want
Mhm.
them to remind me of the game and invoke them, but I don't want to just experience the same
It's
thing I saw in a game.
exact,
You know?
and they nailed it with these characters. And oh, what's my man, Walton Goggins? Bro, superstar. That was my man from he used to be in The Shield and Justified, all these kind of morally great characters. But and then here's the thing, I won't spoil, but the best part of this, the Vault Dwellers are the most hilariously naive people you will
Oh,
ever
I
meet
already
in
got
your
that
life.
from episode 1.
Bro. And then they're like
Living
social
underground for
ineptitude.
216 years. Yeah.
Yeah, with just
Yeah,
basic things.
it's Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt. It's
Yeah,
that joke. Yeah,
yo,
it's the same
Or
thing.
what's the
E.
Brendan Fraser movie, Blast from the Past? My wife reminded me of
Yeah,
that too.
Yeah, kind of like that. Yeah,
yeah, they
that's the one
killed
where
it,
they're in
man.
the bunker for like 20 years or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. So we got
Something
that.
like that,
Obviously,
yeah.
yeah, so I'm playing that. Obviously, ton of Destiny, which we'll get into. Which Travis was reminding me, stop playing Destiny, stop playing Tekken. He's messaging me while I'm blazing hours and doing all type of
I was
foolishness.
writing the review for another Crab's Treasure over the weekend, and I kept looking over at Discord, and I was just savagely jealous of Cog because he was playing games all day, and he had like a Tekken marathon. And I
Yeah.
messaged him after I saw him online for like 3 hours. I was like, "Yo, stop playing Tekken. Enough is enough." And then like a couple hours later, I just saw him playing Destiny, and he played
Yep.
that for hours too. And so I messaged
Bro.
him, "Bro, stop playing Destiny. Enough is enough." And he's just like, "What are you doing? Why are you messaging
Yeah,
me all day, telling me to stop playing games?" And I'm like, "Dude, I'm so jealous you're gaming right now because I'm writing and
you're
I was
writing.
procrastinating." Yeah.
No, it's all good. Yeah, it was good. I did that, and then shout out to the only thing that happened today was that I can now talk about is Kingdom Come Deliverance 2
Yes.
finally announced. I was able, to
Who
check
came?
that out. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 was
Oh,
announced today. You guys broke it as well. You guys broke it as well, and
yeah, I
yeah,
know.
man.
I was making a
So
joke.
yeah, I had to play stupid, but yeah, bro, I'm so proud of them. The engine looks great, Crytek, and to me, it's always been the more realistic version of Skyrim, and like just eating and sleeping and almost a simulation style in conjunction. My only hope is I felt the combat in the first one was a little too complex, a little too rigid. They seem to be going way more. They got crossbows on horseback now. They got more stuff, but I just hope that it looks just as complex. And I think for some casuals that may be off-putting this hardcore combat style. So I'm just hoping they have a better. Yes,
As
Fallout
long
4 is
as long
better
as
than
they
Halo
keep
TV
as
show.
long as
Sorry.
they keep the illiterate mechanics, I'm in.
Yes, illiterate. You could be drunk, naked. You could stink. You could do all type of social abnormalities you can do in the game, and the world reacts to you. So yeah, and then they're going with the whole tropes as far as to play the way you want to play. You could be a bastard, a peasant, a lover, a thief. They're going all out with the role playing. So yeah, you could tell the budget's up, the score is up, the graphics is up. I think they're using CryEngine. I'm super proud of them. They look like they're going all out and coming out this year for next gen. So
Cool.
that's been it. And yeah, this
Very
little
cool.
Destiny game I've been playing a little bit too much of. That's been going on too.
Yeah, a little too much Destiny.
Yeah, a little too much.
Well, then take
Mm.
take off the Destiny talk. What have you been doing in Destiny? What's been keeping you so busy?
Yeah, well, obviously, onslaught. I've been doing. I've unfortunately cannot report any shinies. Shinies do not like me. Did not get any outside of the one that you get for unlocking the weapon, which is that default boring roll that
Yep.
nobody really likes for most of these weapons. Yeah, ain't getting none. And
Well, I
the
will
other
say the
thing is,
best one was Destiny the Meme. I think we had her on the podcast.
mhm,
He was up to
We did.
700 and yeah, we did.
yes,
710 waves till she finally got a shiny to drop.
bro,
Now I've had a
that's
few.
crazy.
Like
Screw that.
I've had a few. Like I was a little more consistent than her, but she had a really long streak going, and she finally got like a crappy edge transit or something. I haven't had a lot, but I've had a few enough to be like, all right, they do exist, but
Yeah. Yeah. So
seems a
it's
little
been
rough.
unlucky there. Had some interesting instances with some randos doing foolishness when the tormentor spawns.
Yep.
And I'm like, bro, go away from the ADO. I did not know that you can heal the little things
Yeah,
with
throw in the
the
little orb helps all the
yeah.
defenses. Yeah, that was something that seemed to get figured out in the last couple of days.
So I've been
Um,
doing that, and
yep.
got a decent midnight cool, but I'm still looking for what is it, kinetic tremors and like what's
Firefly
the other
or
one,
One for
firefly
All,
stuff
or
like
yeah,
that, one
there's a
for
couple
all.
different ones.
And my confession is not really enthused by mountaintop. Not really. Eh,
Yeah, it doesn't seem to be hitting quite as exciting as some people I think would like it to be. I haven't
yeah.
looked through God rolls. I haven't got my hands on any of them yet, honestly.
hmm
Um, Midnight Coup people seem excited about. I saw
Yeah.
Elsie's Rifle, couple different
Oh, I
video
love
reviews.
Elsie's
Nomad
rifle.
is loving that one.
Yeah, and it's good.
Uh,
PvP dope, but PvE a little. It has the role that you want on
yeah, it has the
recluse,
repulsor. Yeah, and
and it's
I have
sick.
my focus has been on Recluse. I still haven't got that one yet. So I want my repulsor, um,
hmm
whatever the other
Uh,
half of that perk combination is.
Propulsor Blaze destabilizing.
Destabilizing, yeah. I would like to get
Yeah,
just one of those, just at least tuck that thing
yeah,
away, whether it's a shiny or not. And then I
hmm
could work on focusing something else. I would like a good
yeah.
succession as well.
Oh, I got one. I got a bunch of those. And I'm happy because I was very unlucky every time I did Deepstone, Travis's favorite Deepstone grit. So I would always get horrible successions, or I wouldn't get that. The two weapons that everybody wanted, that and like a God roll heritage, I'd always get terrible rolls, or I wouldn't get them to drop. And I finally got succession. I got like all the different variations, the recombination, the Vorpal. I love succession. It's really good.
So here's a question, since
hmm
Prescott kind of brought it up. I've seen this discussion, like I've seen Tassie being like for a while saying like crafting ruined the game.
hmm
And then I've seen people talking
He's
about,
just wrong though.
well, it's like, and then I was like, this is where I think there's a middle ground. People are like freaking out
hmm
going the other way. People are like, oh, it's so exciting to get a shiny. And I'm like, so where do you guys fall on the fact that now we're grinding hours and hours and hours? I could go these entire 2 months and not get the one roll I want for Recluse, or I can go craft one. Where are you now after having a couple years with crafting, having that situation, seasons, and all of those things going on, versus now we're back to something purely random? Where are we at?
Yeah, Trav. Let's you answer first.
I think both can exist. I don't think everything has to be craftable. I think you give entirely random rolls for the people who want it in certain areas where it makes sense, and I think you give craftable in areas where you don't want them to suffer. Like for me, raids and being entirely random is just pain because nobody wants to do a raid 40 times, and
Yeah,
so
which
I
I'm
think
currently
if
doing.
you can have it do it a couple times and get the guns that they want to be craftable. I mean, crafting is already so much work, between leveling it up and rebuilding it and all that stuff. It's just a ton of work. And so I think both things can exist. If there's not a way to craft it, I'm probably not going to grind for it because that's, to me, like Onslaught is just not worth it. And there's nothing in the game that's difficult enough that I need Onslaught weapons to succeed.
hmm
I don't need the perfect rolls there. And if it's something that I can craft, I'm much more likely to do it. But even then, I'm kind of asking a lot, right? I have to get like 8 copies of the gun or whatever. Like
Oh
it's
yeah,
just a
they
lot.
unlock
Yeah,
the pattern. Yeah.
they're already asking us to do a lot. I don't think we need more. And I don't think crafting has ruined the game. I think that's pretty silly. I think it's
hmm
probably made the game much more predictable
hmm
in how how you get the roles that you want.
hmm
But I don't think that's a bad thing. I mean, I'm
hmm
not out here begging them to like force me to do the same activity 4,500 times just to get an item. I think
hmm
shinies is actually the better solution they've ever had
hmm
because you can't craft a shiny. And
No, you can't.
so I think if this onslaught event had craftables, but there was still a shiny, I think
hmm
the hardcore people would still be incentivized to do it. And the
hmm
people like me who are never going to grind for the perfect roll would
hmm
be able to craft it and move on. So I tend to be on the side of crafting, but I'm
hmm
also like actively trying not to hate Destiny, right? And the best way to do that is like,
Minimal.
you know, play as much as you're having fun, and then stop, and
Yeah.
don't force yourself to play when you don't want to.
Fair.
And Onslaught, I think I ran it like 4 or 5 times, and by that point, 50 rounds, each of them 90 minutes or an hour or
Yeah,
whatever.
definitely about
It
it.
takes
Yeah.
it takes a while to get there, right?
60 to 90 minutes, depending on how it's going.
Yeah, it was somewhere between an hour and 90 minutes each time. By the end, I was sort of just like, I don't want to keep doing this, dude. Like, even if you gave me the perfect roll, like, it's not worth it. It's the same kind of loop over and over again. And so, I would have liked if they were craftable, but I'm not heartbroken that they aren't. But I still do think crafting should largely stay in the game. I think it's helpful for those who, especially activities you don't want to repeat all over and over again, or activities that weren't like designed to be repeated over and over again, right? It doesn't make sense to like force people to do it arbitrarily just so that they can get a perfect roll.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, Prescott said it in chat. He said, crafting has only ruined the game for those that spend too much time in the game. I mean, that is, if you are somebody who lives and breathes this game a lot, does crafting take away some of the reason for you to keep playing as much? Maybe, but for the people who don't want to live and breathe the game, it actually makes their relationship with the game a lot healthier, knowing they can put in X amount of time, and then they can still have, pretty good arsenal to go along with that time.
It's still a lot of work. It's not.
Yeah, it's like,
crafting,
it's not.
Yeah.
I mean, whether you do like a weekly roll or whether you get lucky, it's like there's still some grinding to it, but there's light at the end of the tunnel. And when it's like random, that's what I said. I was like, I could do my recluse as my focus for the next 2 months and go through and do as many drops as I'm gonna get, and I may just get unlucky, and that would suck.
Yeah.
So we'll see how it all goes. But I saw that kind of discussion coming back up. Some people are like, because some people were saying, I haven't been this excited about a drop in a while.
Yeah.
And that's another feeling, because you is the other one I want to ask, because you're always over here like, what about those moments? Where are we at? Come on. So I was like, now I kind of want to get your take. Where are you at with regards to crafting, the shinies, kind of just this as we go into final shape? Where would you like to see this balance? Because Travis said he doesn't want raid weapons to be there. I've actually seen some people on Twitter say raids are the things that shouldn't be craftable due to the special nature of the event. And I was like, but I understand Travis's point, but I also kind of see theirs. So where are you at in all this?
It's funny that we've got crafting to settle for a while now, right? So the way I look at it is this is their solution to you being unlucky, right? So I think that what happens is, let's be honest, a lot of these raid and these dungeon weapons that have random rolls that have these amazing archetypes that generally are best in class, right? At their perspective weapon type. So crafting to me is the middle ground for the people who, okay, either you're unlucky, you can't get those weapons to drop, or when you get them, they're terrible rolls, right? So you get maybe an archetype that maybe not as dominant or doesn't have the great origin trait that the raid weapon has, but you still have a solid version of it with its own craftable thing. And then I guess the trade-off is you can make it enhanceable with the perks, right? Get that little extra second on, Rampage or whatever it is, right? So that's the medium. I think that for my play style, I'm always going to lean towards probably the higher end activity first before the crafting, because I feel like those weapons are best in class. If you really, blow for blow, stat for stat, we've had moments where, Heritage was best in class at kinetic shotgun, Secession. Usually, the rocket from the what is
Apex
it? The one
Predator.
yeah, like there's generally the raid weapons end up being, because what it is, they always come with unique perk combinations where generally the third column they'll put in a fourth column park in the third column, and you'll get these dope combinations. So I like that per se, but now this is where I kind of align with. I think all of us have discussed this on this podcast, where my issue comes down to probability on like doing things to increase probability. And I just feel they still suck at that, because there are times where I'm like, okay, bro, I did this. We ran the raid with all warlocks. We did all the things. And, you claim I'm going to get a better percentage of the drop or the raid exotic. Come on. You know what I'm saying? So it's like that part. And still to this day, shout out to citizens in the chat. I remember when I was going through the collective obligation grind for Rolk in the Valve Disciple, and it would not drop for me. Bro, there was times we ran that when it was the featured raid. We ran that way like 20 times. I counted it. people who already had collective obligations were getting the gun again.
No, that was. I mean,
I'm like,
I had this experience in Gallahorn in D1. That was like my white whale, and my buddy had 9. He filled up his heavy slot. I've said this before. He had 9 Gallahorns before I got one. I'm like, something is not quite right here.
how is the algorithm
Yeah.
not knowing this?
I think-
That's the part that
Yeah.
that bothers me. Yeah, I'll let you finish.
No, I
it.
was just gonna say, I was like, well, I have a thought, so you can finish yours. So I have a kind of a
Yeah, no, look, for right now, I'm still cool with the way things are. Obviously we have attunement. You can now, focus that weapon in the way you want it. But I guess with the shinies, yes. My only nitpick with the shot, I like the rarity, that's cool. My only nitpick, if I do a bunch of 50 run legend onslaughts, can I get a little probability, please?
So there is stuff
can you
coming
bump
in
me
the
up to
TWID
5%?
for
Oh, they talk about okay,
or-
good. That's all I'm saying.
something. Yeah, well, no, it was a Twitter thread yesterday, if I remember right. It was
Mm.
actually a feedback. This is one of those things where it's like they drop a massive amount of feedback in a Twitter thread, and I'm going, not everybody has Twitter.
Right.
They don't always know. Destiny 2 team, I want to say is okay. Okay. Yesterday, we've been following feedback that there should be better incentives to stay in Onslaught for the full 50 waves. The teammates don't dip out after wave 10. And that was the
Yeah,
biggest
that
thing
happened.
is people are going to find the path of least resistance. So they would
Mhm.
do one wave of legend, get their double drop
They're
at level
double, they
10,
out.
and it's easy, and they out. And that's their quickest way to get that loot because you're getting still some tokens from it. You're getting the other. So they're trying to incentivize people to stay longer and go for the challenge.
Mhm.
So they said change 1, a chance for additional weapons to drop when you complete a wave. The drop chance will increase per wave until you get your weapon, and the drop chance will be guaranteed on wave 50, so you get at least 1 extra drop. A bonus weapon will also drop after you complete wave 50 in either difficulty. This change, along with the following, means that completing 50 waves will guarantee 2 additional weapons, which is some, but I feel like for a lot of people that's not enough. So it's
Right.
kind of, but they are trying to give you more incentive. Also, more tokens or trophies of bravery. Sorry, same thing. The later you get into waves, the more tokens you're going to get by sticking it out. So they're listening to feedback that the incentive is less there. But it was like to combine all of what you guys were saying. For Travis's point, I think both could exist. I think for what you're saying is make the raid worthwhile too. What they're doing with shinies is something they could probably do in raids that I would love to see. Because if they want raids to be random, which I know Travis doesn't want, but say that's something they wanted to do to make those a little more special with the perks. Do a shiny thing where they drop as double perk rolls. And then guess what? If you run master difficulty, you could have 3 sets of perks drop because they do that from the factions like Vanguard. If you run master and you get a weapon, but maybe you don't want these things to be craftable, have 3 sets of perks drop if you run master, and God knows you're bound to get something reasonable in a much shorter period of time. So they have ways where they can do stuff like now. An exotic not dropping, trust me, there should be a cap, period. I get tired of that stuff. That better not be a thing. But that would be a really,
Why
I think
should that be a thing and not? It seems not to be consistent in the philosophy. If you think it should be true for exotics, but not for god rolls.
I mean,
Either you want a game that makes you grind endlessly, or you want a game that predictably gives you loot if you put in the effort.
Well, I was trying to basically satisfy some people that were looking for the raids. For you, I like the fact that raids are craftable because you still have to do the raid enough to get all of those patterns, and by that point, whether you make your
deserve
own
it.
god roll or you got one on accident, you should
You love that raid.
you know that raid well enough to have mastered it at that point that if you can craft everything, you don't need to play it anymore, which I totally get. So it's like that I get, but I was just saying for some people maybe to incentivize like the random roll drop, like if crafting is a thing, but to balance it, maybe the random drops have more perks, so there's still benefit, or a way of a random drop still have value over a crafted because it's got double perks and crafted are all single lines. That gives some incentive to random and helps with some of the math because there's usually so many perks. So there are ways they could go about doing this, and I think we're all in the same boat that it is nice to occasionally get a shiny. Now, if my shiny didn't just suck completely, it would be nice too, because I got some and I'm like, I don't care how many perks you have on here, you're awful. Like, you're just terrible, so it doesn't matter if you have 2 or 20. They're all bad.
At least you got one.
Yeah.
I still have yet to see one drop for me.
Well, yeah. If you get up to 710 waves, then you can talk to Destiny the Meme. Until then, she's probably got everybody beat, but she finally got one.
Control.
But I mean, the shinies I've got, none of them are. I think one might be decent, but none of them have been god rolls. Not one of my shinies has been a god roll, so it's not. not exactly been great, even if it is dropping, because I just haven't been lucky.
Yeah, I got you. I got you.
It's just an interesting discussion because now we're kind of back seeing the other side after we've had crafting so much. The random rolls are out here, seeing the discussion out there. I was just curious, and I think
Yeah, it's a good
a
question.
balance of both and a healthy way to help with some of the to give the long-term player who
Mhm,
wants to live in this game something to go for, cool, but also to
mhm.
give a path for the people who have limited time and don't want to hate the
Yeah.
game is a good thing too. They can try and balance both of those, I hope.
Mhm. No, I agree.
But yes, I think the drop rate for shinies is probably a little bit low.
Just a little bit, but
Little
you
It's
bit.
know,
fine
I
though,
get it.
right? It doesn't impact the game. It's literally just for the psychos who want to grind forever. So this is what they asked for. Like
That is
literally.
true. They did ask
This is
for
what
that.
they asked for. They wanted something that felt exclusive, that gave them a reason to keep grinding,
Mhm,
and it doesn't have an impact on the game, so it doesn't hurt other players. So
mhm,
I say keep it where it's at and
mhm.
let the people who get it, and let the people who don't get it continue to grind just like they want to.
So that's kind of what we've been playing. And then today
Mhm.
we dropped the
What they
TWID.
talk about? What
And
they
the
do?
first thing, well,
Mhm.
contentious.
Uh-oh,
The
what's going on?
date of the raid
Oh, yeah, that.
is June 7th. Now,
Gets my review out faster.
that's about the
Oh,
only
God,
benefit. That's the
yeah,
benefit I'm going to give you on
yeah.
that one. But I
I'm on
want,
team. Let's do it. Let's do it that Friday. Because I'll be. Let's be honest. We'll be done with the campaign. It does make me worry a little bit that maybe the campaign's short.
Mm,
either the campaign's short or the campaign's incomplete without the raid, so they didn't want this like 10-day.
yeah,
So
because you
that's
gotta
why.
be
Okay, so
missing the
what?
raid,
Yeah,
yeah.
Let's just get
because
into it because I
they
want
had
to.
like I think the Forsaken is like one that people remember as being like a long wait, right? It was like
But
10
I mean,
days.
I thought Witch Queen did a long one. I thought
Yeah, they
Lightfall
did.
did a long one. They've had the
Yeah.
10-day
No,
wait. Yeah,
wait, did they really?
yeah,
I don't
Yeah,
they've
remember
had
that.
10
I
days.
think Forsaken kinda set the tone of, like, we're never gonna put it back on the same they had, like they have a discussion about this? They were like, we
I
wanna give
remember.
people more
I don't
time
know.
and
For some reason, I remember it being like quick because I remember rushing to be ready for the
I think it was
raid.
like the following week after
Yeah, I
release.
feel like the last
Damn.
couple were
Yeah.
10 days, and that's why some people were planning for
So if I
the
felt
other.
like I
Mhm.
was rushing for the raid before,
Right.
Ooh.
So, okay,
uh-oh.
this is the big speculation, and this is kind of you brought up one point as well. You
Mhm,
can extrapolate what you want from this. We don't know what we're getting until obviously we get there. King's Fall was the last one they did 3 days later. Yeah,
mm,
so most of them have been 10 days. So it feels like if they've been doing 10 days for a good bit, whether they may have had an
mhm,
odd one here or there, and they may have done the 3 days for some of the re-releases of raids, like with seasons, but the full
right,
expansions I think have been 10 because that's where you
right,
get the power increase and everything else. From the stream, it did look like 2010 power level on the stream, so I feel like that is probably going to be involved, unless that's just like
mhm,
not happening. But the
And that's up from
expansions
like what, 180 is the
1810
base?
now,
1810.
2010, so 200 power level, even 2000 for final shape feels about like what they were going for. So, couple questions. Why would it be so close to the campaign? Does this mean the campaign is missing something? Does it feel short? Do they feel like they need the raid to complete it quickly? Um, But also, do you feel like now you're not going to, for those who want to do the raid, do you feel like you're going to be rushing through the campaign? Do you feel like you're going to have to force it faster for people who don't have gaming as like their entire job and that kind of thing? The three of
I
us
have a
are lucky
theory.
enough, but yeah. So there's a couple different pieces, but go ahead.
My theory is that they're doing this to address all of the negative feedback they got from the hardcore community before about contest mode being too easy, because it's sure as shit not going to be too easy if you have to kill yourself for 3 days to try to get there. Um, and I think that's kind of what it comes down to. Also, people find out bugs and exploits and overpowered weapons and builds the longer the game is out. So
Mhm,
that by the time the raid is ready, people have already figured out like glitches to get around stuff and to do things that are crazy. And I feel like they probably maybe are just trying to minimize that. Um, or what you said before about the story feeling incomplete. I mean, it basically is incomplete, right?
Well, I think
I don't think
Prescott
it's
said it because he's like, they said there's something with like either a final mission, a conclusion to the story, something they are very tied together, and I forget how they phrased it
Mhm.
with whatever announcement they did a while back, but it's something to where the raid finishes the story, or there's a final mission that everybody can experience with the raid, or
Yeah.
some weird connection like
I
that
still
that
think
like
I still think there's a way to do it, right? Like, Forsaken had an ending to the campaign, but then the campaign kind of continued over the next
Yes.
week until
Yeah.
the raid came out, and then when the raid came out, it felt like you had still been experiencing the campaign. And so maybe this doesn't have that. Maybe this is like you get up to the door of the final boss's home, and it would feel weird if you had to wait 7 days to go inside for no reason. And there's no like other story beats to happen in between then. And so if that's the case, I could see them wanting to do it. In terms of the campaign being too short, I'm not really worried about that because, we all beat the Witch Queen on the first day it came out, and that campaign felt like it was beefy and good enough, and still only took like what 8 hours to beat at most. And that was on the
I
the
mean, I think
challenge
I soloed
difficulty
it
as
in
well.
I think I soloed Legend like 10 or 11.
Mhm.
Yeah, 10 or 11 hours. Um, yeah, but you were playing alone.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Actually, now that I think about it, I think it took me longer for the most recent one because I was playing with Destin and
With
Gary, which was a nightmare.
and
Um, so
they did scale the difficulty for more players when you played on Legendary, right? When they didn't
yeah,
play
no,
3,
like
they scaled it more.
I really got the difficulty scaled playing with Destin. It was like an extra modifier.
Good on you now.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm not super worried about the campaign because they've all kind of been the same length, and uh, beating it in a day isn't a problem to me as long as the levels are good and the story's good and all that stuff. I'll be happy. Um, and yeah, I forgot about that catch up mechanic where you get
Mhm.
your power level way up if you beat it on the hard mode. So
Yes.
I'm
Yeah,
definitely
they
gonna
give
do
you
that. That's a great way to get there real quick.
Mhm.
yeah, do
So
Legend and get your so the power loving didn't really matter. The pinnacle is the part where
Right.
the pinnacle, the
that
artifact to
matters.
get up to
Mhm.
You
that
get an
will
extra
That's gonna
week
matter.
be the
of
part.
pinnacles. That will
Pinnacle.
matter. You're not
That
gonna
will
get
matter.
that.
Okay.
And then also the exploit thing, right? Where we always find out like which exotic is broken as
And then they
hell, and
Mhm.
usually
I
just
don't
turn
think
it
I,
off like the Thursday
Yep.
night before the raid or
And
something.
they usually release like some fragment part of the new subclass. I'm assuming
yeah.
prismatic. That if they gave it to us in the beginning, they know it would help us clear
Oh,
stuff
after you
easy.
beat the raid, you get a
Yup.
couple other
After you beat the
fragments
raid, they're
for
gonna give us
Strand
some
or something.
prismatic stuff that really makes the
Yeah.
builds powerful because they want to
I could see
maintain that
that.
difficulty.
I could also
Yeah.
see like a week 2 of the expansion exotic mission dropping that has a broken exotic that they don't want you to have for the raid or whatever.
Mhm.
So it could also just be like how much can players figure out about how broken prismatic is
Mhm.
in those 3 days, right?
Mhm.
So I don't know. I think there's probably a lot of reasons to do it.
There's
Mhm.
now
I
reason
think
to save up bounties again though, which I
Oh
hate,
yeah.
but I'm
Oh
gonna
yeah.
do it.
it goes against the philosophy that they talked about before of like this not being your life and not killing yourself. I
Yep.
feel like
I
they're
remember
gonna have
that
some
comment.
messaging problems there when
Yes.
people, you know, go into a coma because they sat for 3 days playing Destiny. So
Yeah.
I don't know how they're
Yeah.
gonna deal with that. Interesting
Yeah.
choice.
Yeah. It is interesting because there's a part of me that think it's look. There's a part of me that thinks that they would get more engagement if they stretched it a week because you have that opening week, hype the game, new expansion release, everyone's playing, and then it's like, all right, guys, we're ramping up for next week, and then you do
Yeah,
your
everybody
whole
plays Destiny for 10 days straight.
yeah for 10 days straight. So to me, I felt like it's counterproductive. So, but I do agree with Travis in the sense that I think the reason why they're doing this is strictly narrative beat
That's the only
because
thing that I will agree
yeah,
with is if it's narrative
yeah,
based. Because if it's
it,
anything else, I feel like what you're saying is you're putting people in a time crunch that's unnecessary. You're putting people to where they're going to start saving up bounties because I know I'm going to do the same damn thing if I'm going to be on a day one raid team. You're shortening the window, as you're saying, of engagement for people who are going to stream. Asdacross is going to have 20,000 videos up, or he's going to have
fire,
like 4 before the raid
bro.
comes out. It's like it's kind of weird. So I'm praying it is a very important raid narrative
Yeah,
link thing
yes.
because if it's not that, I will be a little. That's the only one I'll give them.
Yeah. Yeah, it has to be because they literally have confirmed that we will face the witness in the raid, right? So it will
Yeah.
be kind of like a Taken King situation where we're like, okay, this is unfinished business. We have to now get him in there, and then probably some really cool narrative beat that they knew if they cut off at the end of the campaign, it's just going to be so incomplete and disjointed to wait 10 days or whatever it is to do it. So I think that's the reasoning. And maybe
My
there is
question, I was going to say, sorry, but my question
Mhm.
about that is the people who don't raid, how
Right.
is their campaign going to feel if they're left like mid-step and be like,
No,
and
I hear that.
cliffhanger? Like,
And I think they're gonna try to offer a band-aid by saying, "Hey guys, you can compete at 1810 or what what I'm saying, like some very minimal light level that they'll give you a chest that say, hey, you can try too.
at
You
like
ain't gonna win. You ain't
1950,
gonna,
but
yeah,
you're going to
you might be able
die.
to.
Good luck.
You're gonna get through you may be qualified to just look at the first encounter.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's about all you gonna do at that light level. And then they'll say, okay, obviously for the hardcore. So it's for them to break their own messaging rule, to me, shows one, how important they are valuing the story, and two, maybe they are looking at the engagement differently than I am and saying, we rather have this blowout first week
They're
launch
going to blow their
with a
load early.
raid, right, and then ride that trend, because we have to admit, world's first is a thing. World's first is a thing for them. That's a
Oh,
big,
yeah.
Twitch engagement thing. And I think maybe as far as the 45% target miss, there's something in the spreadsheet that says we gotta go all out that week, that first week, and ride that wave. So that, because it doesn't make sense for them to break their own rule. They have to have
That's
some
what
type of data
I
for
was
them
like,
to justify
but
this.
even for them, it's like, you have like the people streaming for the people who are going to promote your game for free, who are going to do the videos, who are going to stream and all
Right.
that stuff. They're going to play it for like the 10 days straight up to the raid. So you're just
Mhm.
shortening that window to try and have other people see it, be like, oh, this is cool. This is prismatic and these other things. And now
Right.
you're shortening that window and you're saying you want to like do everything quick. But I'm
But
like,
what does that
if you,
engage? That engages gremlin mode for all of us. That means from Tuesday to Friday, we all gremlins. We know it.
Goblin mode.
And that's what they want. So it's like they're willing to have us no life. Everybody in the community, no lifing, all day Destiny. That's what they want, bro. They're sacrificing it all. They going in. It's the only thing that makes sense to me, because they've always said, hey, we want you to take your time. We want you to not have
yeah,
to,
these are the times where I'm going to sleep in the guest room so I don't wake my wife up when I go to bed at 4 in the morning.
we going old dark 30, kids. I'm telling you, no sleep. You better take off work. It's on again. They want us living in it. They want them engagement numbers so they can tell Mr. Pete Parsons, look, guys, this is where we're trying.
See, that's
Hey, Sony, this is what we're doing.
I'm not saying you're wrong, but if that is the reason for the decision, that is messed up.
Oh,
Cynical?
desperate
A
times,
little
baby.
cynical?
Go ahead.
Yeah. No, I was gonna say that seems a little cynical if that's the reason. I think there's a chance that's the reason. To be clear,
Travis is
it could
living.
also be a combination. It could be a
I mean,
combination.
yeah,
of
it's a
things.
lot
It
of
could be-
things coming
It
together.
could be what we were trying before wasn't working. We need this game to go viral, which means we need people talking about it for that entire first week. We don't want
World's
people
first.
piling on how there's no content, and if everybody's too worried about the raid, then they won't be able to focus on that.
Championship belt.
I don't know
kids
if we'll.
crying.
I don't know if we'll ever get an explanation unless it becomes a big deal and somebody leaks it to us in a year. But
The
that's like
when
the only,
Destiny
that's
3
the only
comes
way,
out,
that's the
we
only
get
way
the
we'll
Destiny
find out
2
the
Schreier
reason.
book. That's what
Facts.
that's
They
what we
don't
get.
want us playing no other games. You gonna
Yeah.
live it. You gonna breathe it.
But I
Travis
will
gonna
say,
be no sleep. Review it.
I'm
He's
not
finished.
I'm not super hurt about this because I do want to get this done.
Get it over with. For
I
you,
mean, that's
yeah.
fair for you. Yeah, it's like you just want
The
to
review,
knock it out, and be
the,
done in
the,
1 week.
the longer I go without giving a review to people, the worse it is, I feel, for the consumer. It's irresponsible to write a review without having played the raid. And now I
Raid,
get to
yeah.
play the raid in 4 days, and my review in progress will be there on Monday, waiting for everybody. So
Mm-hmm. And then
Kinda works
let's just say for their sake, right? They have a great campaign. Let's just say, we're just being hypothetical, and they really tie the bow with the witness being defeated in the raid, right? With a nice, thorough proof, like being conjunctive. It's to their benefit. You know what I'm saying? It's to their, but if they could pull it off, right? Again, provided it's a good story. If they tell it and it concludes in a way well, and then they open up what's the next for the future of Destiny for episodes and stuff like that, they'll have the talking points. They'll have the community. They'll have everybody on their side, like, yo, you got to do this, Ray, bro. You can't believe what happened. That's what they're hoping for. I'm not saying they're going to execute it, but that I think they're just going for the all. Somebody said the servers. See now, where I'm different from of Travis though is I feel they're putting more pressure on themselves with not being able to fix broken builds and stuff that we'll exploit that in them 3 or 4 days. So they're gonna have to just disable stuff because dudes are gonna find stuff.
Oh, of course they
Prismatic
will.
is gonna break some stuff, and dudes are gonna find crazy builds. They like, yo, we could melt that boss day one, bro. This is what we gonna do. Everybody standing in call, put this
I
exotic
mean,
on, put these
right now
fragments on.
the weapons we're getting. I mean, you got your edge transes that people are going to be dumping cascade point, bait and switch, like DPS freight phases and stuff like that. It's all going to be hopefully about the mechanics and stuff. We'll see how long the raid is. The question will be is how. Okay, so say now we know this is June 7th,
Mhm.
so Friday, Saturday, Sunday. The 48 hours will be over. People play it a little bit then too. Monday comes around, or that
Mhm.
first weekly reset even happens.
Mhm.
As we get closer, I'm guessing. I feel like they said 2 weeks for the episode, but I feel like they haven't said anything about the episode date in a while. I don't know
Right.
if they want that episode to kick off faster. That was another thing I was wondering about because previously said it was
Mm.
going to be like 2 weeks. You think
Mhm.
maybe that next, and if that's the case, do you think they're going to do the future of Destiny? Like just
Oh
keep the
yeah.
train going.
Oh
So if you
yeah.
go
Luke
Friday
Smith
the
is there,
7th,
baby.
8th, 9th, so maybe Monday or something, or maybe even Tuesday morning reset, they do that the future of Destiny stream with like Luke Smith and do you think they even come to that quick, or is that farther down the road? Where are you at for
It's
that stream?
it's possible. I think that we know. I feel we're going to see him again. I feel like they can't wait to talk about what they're doing. We've seen all the rumors now. Like the dudes are. I mean, that was a code name Payback. It's
Yeah,
out there.
that's
Like
all. Yeah.
D3 is a thing. Apparently, it's been developing it since Witch Queen or whatever. I'm curious to see how long they talk about it, and then how they quickly they what happened. What you laughing
Summer
at?
Games Fest live on June 7th.
Oh, wow. What could you possibly talk about at that time? At the biggest stage, the equivalent of E3.
But they
There's
wouldn't
nothing
do
to
it
talk about.
then. We have to beat the witness. That's not going to happen. I don't forget how this thing all goes, but I'm just like,
Show us some
when does
stuff, and there's
E3? Well, because what Microsoft is the 9th. I heard
the
that got
ninth.
rumored. So
Mhm.
Sunday is when some of that stuff goes off. So they're just
See,
probably maybe they're gonna have an announcement there. Maybe they
bro,
wanted to squeeze it all into E3. Who knows? That's a
and
Sony
that
thing.
that's what
Sony wants
that
it on that.
marketing
Okay, yeah,
team.
yeah.
Come on,
All
this is
coming
E3.
together. Yep.
Coming
E3's
together. I know what they do.
Sony.
This is all out. We getting these percentages. We getting these targets. We gonna get the most. If we go out, we going out swinging.
Here's my
At
only
the,
problem with that is when it feels forced, the community is gonna know it, and if it
oh,
feels
for sure.
forced, it's gonna suck. That's
Oh,
my
for sure.
problem.
I mean, they got the pressure. They the one that got executed.
I mean, I
They
get
the
it,
ones that
but
drop Lightfall. That's their problem.
yeah.
Hey, I'm
But
here.
it's
To,
like
you supposed to make it right with me.
if you rush it and you force it just to try and hit some magical number target versus waiting a week to let things marinate and
I
not
get
to
it
be lost in the middle of Summer Games Fest, it could go either way. I just don't
for
know how
sure.
it's gonna go. I'm very curious to watch this train go through the station or crash into the
Mhm.
station, and I'm not entirely sure which one.
I feel like people only complain about not having time before the expansion releases and then way later, like a month later when they're like, man, that sucked having to go through that. But I think that week, if the content is good, and that's the
Ooh,
big X factor here,
that's
that's
the
the big
if.
variable, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
If the content is good and we are forced to play it like complete goblins,
Yep.
I think we're probably not going to comment on it that
Yeah.
week. We're just going to be like, this is the life of a gamer. Nobody's making you play it.
Well, start saving your bounties.
Yeah.
Seriously, because what is 6 weeks out? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Next week will be 6 weeks. So yeah, start saving your bounties.
Mm-hmm.
If you're gonna do that, that is. But I mean, if you want the jump
Yeah.
on the artifact, and now the episode artifact is gonna be an artifact that gets has more perks in it as you go farther through it. And there's gonna be 200 ranks to the season pass if you want to get all the little extra bumps in it.
The thing that sucks for me is literally, I believe that is Summer Game Fest and E3 week, and I'm gonna have to bring my Xbox with me. I gotta bring my Xbox. I live like, bro, I am screwed. Like, it's drop Tuesday, and then I think Summer Games Fest is Thursday, Friday, the 6th and the 7th. Xbox conference the 9th. They're literally doing raid weekend.
Oh, yeah.
When I'm out there.
The entire
Oh
thing
my
is going
God.
on during like one of the biggest news events, and I don't know if that's a way if they're gonna get. But is that would you get lost? Because are people going to be looking for what's the new trailer that got announced, or what's a new thing, or are people going to be over here watching a raid race? I think this is the point
Not
where
not
I
if
don't.
you have a new announcement to talk about at the Keighley's in conjunction with your raid race
But
going
would
on.
they drop a new announcement before the raid? Because the raid is on the 7th,
Right.
48 hours. The only way they would do it is if they have like I don't know if it's Sunday. Normally, the only reason I say this is Sony is not normally E3 tied.
Right.
Now, maybe they are this year. We don't know. But normally
but
they're
Jeff
either.
Keighley-
I think if they're at Summer Games Fest, they're not going to be talking about Destiny. Why would they?
unless they
If
have
they're
an
at Summer Games
announcement.
Fest, it would be an ad, a sizzle reel for
Yeah.
the expansion they just released. That's what they've done in the past, right?
I mean,
Just
maybe
had an ad.
Yeah.
But remember, Bungie themselves still operate and do their own live streams independent of Sony. It's not like they're
Yeah.
part of the Sony showcase and then Luke Smith comes out, right? They tell us when we're gonna do our thing. So maybe they have something around that, time period to announce.
I am not going to sleep much. I get that. I am just curious what the reasoning ends up being and how this plays out for the population and the hype and everything. If it's too big, too fast, if it's like a peak. What are you saying?
I'm saying Goblin, you gotta embrace shit.
Well, I mean, I'm going to be. There's no question. I will be Goblin mode 100% until like. Cacus actually reached out and asked if I wanted to be on his team. So.
Oh,
I'll
that's
be
what's
playing.
up. Look at you.
Unfortunately, Cacus is one of the first ones to get done every time because his raid guide is damn fast every time. I'm going to be like,
all the time.
he asked, and I was like, now he doesn't have his regular crew. I think he was still looking for 3 total, but he's one who wants it done because his raid guides are huge.
What?
So I was just like, the reason I said yes to him was like, I do imagine I'm not going to.
You betrayed Cool Guy. And
No, I think that like Nomad's over in Ireland now. He's in a different time zone. Cool Guy's got his health issues. I don't know if a raid would even be a good idea for
You
him.
done leveled up to Cactus HD. Huh?
He asked, and he was like,
"Yep, number one." Now Dado next. I see what's going on.
No, even though Dado does have a hole in his raid. No, Dado has a hole in his raid team right now because one of his friends one of his raid team is getting married on the 7th.
Oh wow!
They planned it for the wedding.
Yeah. It is.
There you go, Travis. You want a raid team with Dado? There you go. You will definitely get it done.
He's in the Illuminati now. We lost him. He's in the top tier, the top 2% of the Destiny. I'm proud of you. I'm messing with you.
No. But I am. This is just the way all these dates and everything, and Summer Games Fest and all that stuff. There's a guest I was working on getting on the show. Now I think if I was working towards like 2 weeks later, that's probably actually going to be a little better now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know who to get for that one though. Or we just take a 2-week hiatus and like make 2 weeks later be 300.
Bro, it's gonna be crazy because
Damn,
even when
Team
I'm
Elysium has a hole too because that's
he has a hole too. Yeah, that's right.
Because he got banned, I think, right?
Trav, that's right. You gotta do day one. You gotta do contest mode.
Yeah,
I did contest mode all the other years.
He's done it.
You always do that.
I finally did contest mode last year, but that was.
I usually find a random team like the day before, and I end up succeeding. And then meanwhile, like my buddies don't do it with like teams they've had established for months that are super try hard. So I've just gotten really lucky.
Oh, they killing me. Hold on. You're rated with Cactus as a hunter. That's
it
right.
works because Cactus is a Titan, so it works
Titan.
out that I'm not actually going to take another Titan spot.
Oh,
it also means I've got to find time to get my hunter up to spec.
Get those builds ready, bruh.
Yeah, got to work on some exotic farming because I got quite a few holes to fill in on my exotic bingo card.
I got to do the same thing. Yeah, I'm not like Travis. I don't have the luck to get every exotic in the game now.
It's not luck, dude.
You've got the dungeon ones too.
Yep.
Yeah.
Damn it! I don't got any.
I just ran them. So I just got people that like know me from this show or from Fireteam chat, and they hit me up and they go, "Hey, we do it every week. If you want, we'll include you." And so,
dope.
I just pop on and I do like the dungeon.
Yeah.
and that's it. That's all the Destiny
That's
I
all you
play
do.
that week. I
Yep.
just do the
Yep.
dungeon or I do the raid, and that's all the
Yep.
Destiny I play that week.
We got Ducky and my crew
Um,
and Sinister. I'll get the call like, hey, we're doing it. Come on. And I'm like, all
Yep.
right. Give me a second. I'll be there.
I usually
Yep.
try to get them to get a slot. The most recent one I've been doing with is
Which one?
what was the group that helped me with Warren.
Hmm.
You guys remember Warren from
Yeah. Warren is awesome.
GCX?
Yeah, absolutely.
Which, by the way, he's officially cancer free. He
What?
messaged me like last week, so he fully recovered, which is great. I think he's in remission.
Salute, man. What was his name? It was Buff 32 was his thing, right? It was
Yeah, Buff.
Buff 32.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's right.
salute, man. If you listen, man, congratulations, bro. That is huge.
Yeah.
Oh my god,
Yeah.
wow.
I don't know if he's watching right now, but he's been
Cool dude.
my Sherpa for a lot of this, or at least my
that's what's up.
organizer, because he gets the group together. That's the hardest part for me, is like get everybody on at the same time every week.
Yeah. Yep.
Play
Same
together.
time. What works? Yep. Same thing.
He's
Yeah, he
good at
was
that stuff.
he was there. Even we were doing. I made up that drinking game for Destiny. And
I was
I was
there,
making
yeah.
everybody do call out a gun and exotic, and no
Yeah.
one. It was fun. We just kept going
Oh, that's
rotation.
right.
You get to the red out.
That was last year, right? The year I wasn't there.
Mhm.
And this year, and the next year, and all the years
And
you
the
won't
next
be
year.
there.
This year I'm going to be out of the country during GCX.
Yeah,
so I
that's
have a
true.
great reason.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
Yep.
Mm-mm-mm.
So that was the biggest news from the TWID, was the fact that we have that raid
Yeah,
date. So as you can
that's
see,
big.
there was some contention in Twitter and thoughts and opinions, and we
People
will
flipping
just.
out.
It just feels. A lot of it was that it feels fast. There was pretty much everything we covered. I saw most
okay.
of it through the replies, the thoughts.
Who? I'm nosy. I was such a who's the like somebody I know that's
Well, I
like on
don't
the.
remember the names. You'd
Oh,
have to
okay.
go look through my Twitter, but like,
I
no,
got you. I gotta check.
it's more the idea that I just saw the spectrum of, hey, it's too fast. It's probably related to the narrative. That all that stuff came up. It was just, I was surprised because I expected the 10 days. It
Yeah,
had
me
been their
too.
window. They'll still probably do 48 hours for contest, but that first week is going to be a little crazy. They're doing a little bit of clan updates, so Hawthorne's going to have a reputation system.
Yeah.
A little bit there, so you get raid banners sold from Hawthorne cost less. First clan bounty completed each week grants an exotic engram.
Mhm.
Can I have one thing though? I will be
What you
happy
want?
if we do get a D3 at some point, because right now exotics feel zero special. Most exotics we know exactly what they are before they come out. You're swimming exotic engrams by doing 3 Vanguard. I mean, I know we're a far cry from D1, but running 3 strikes and getting a Vanguard, 3 Vanguard strikes and getting an exotic engram, I'm going,
Yeah.
they do feel less special now. I have thoughts.
Play the game, guys. Rookies, come on.
Yeah, raid rotator, but I mean, that's also one of those things you got to do when you're 10 years into a franchise.
Yeah.
Raid rotator challenges grant spoils of conquest. Trials wins grant trials reputation. Earn bonus crafted weapon XP from completing ritual playlist activities. And then completing all clan challenges in a week grants an ascendant alloy.
Oh, okay.
So if your clan does its stuff, you'll be getting
Yeah.
little in-game benefit. So probably a
Nice.
reason to jump back into clan. Hopefully you got some people who play.
Mm-hmm.
Fireteam Finder moving out of beta. I'm actually surprised this is
Wow.
an official thing. I feel like
Same.
it works anyway, so you may as well just make it official, so they are.
Mm-hmm.
Into the Light. Okay. I have thoughts about this, so does somebody else want to read it?
All right, Into Light year 10, Destiny 2 Into the Light. We've introduced a variety of activities and rewards to celebrate the lead up to the final shape. This includes a blend of limited time content with activities and rewards that will continue to be available to players after the event ends. We'd like to give you a full breakdown of the content leading to the final shape. So, limited time activities and rewards, and again, these are content that will only be available during Destiny 2 Into the Light. And then they talk about Pantheon activity and emblems. Pantheon is our raid boss gauntlet. They'll be available from April 30th to June 3rd. Talk about what they wanted to create as far as the challenge, blah, blah, blah. Pantheon will offer a chance to earn a variety of emblems, similar to the limited time emblems we have made available in past content raids. We talked about Sparrow last week. We expect the exclusivity of these emblems to make them highly sought after. We've been thrilled to see the response to the reveal of our Pantheon, and no players are eager to jump in and play. And then, okay, so they talk about that. They talk about Into the Light and Pantheon Seal and title, the Godslayer title, which we did talk about, and triumphs. Then they talk about, okay, Brave Arsenal limited edition variants,
Yep,
as we previously
shinies.
mentioned. Yep, the shinies. They'll also be available. Hall of Champions and associated quests. The Hall of Champions associated content, such as it's the Shax's robot, right? The 9940 guy.
Our site.
Yeah, our site, sorry. Armor Quest Entombment will no longer be available after June 3rd.
Ding, ding,
Okay,
ding. There's the one.
got
So
it. Okay,
everything above that,
yeah.
I was like, okay, fine. So you have a limited time seals, emblems, as they said, just like contest mode. They've done it before. They already said about the shinies, they're a limited thing. You could take or leave that, but they've just decided to do it. I honestly wanted to just basically say it feels like they're making more work than they need to. It feels like the Hall of Champions is something they just created,
Right.
and they've got the focusing in there for the onslaught activity and the
Mhm.
Brave Arsenal. The focusing is going away. They'll probably bring that back at some point. The Super Black Shader is going away. They'll probably bring
Right.
that back at some point, but this could be months or years the way they do things.
Mhm.
And it's all just sitting there and it works right now. And for whatever
Mhm.
reason, on on June 3rd, they feel like, nope, it's gone.
Mm.
Outside of engagement numbers to please play right now, which is the
Come off,
only
yeah.
reason you would do this, it feels like they're taking away an entire area that works. It's kind of cool. It's got some memes in it and all that stuff to go. And then they're going to put it back in the game later in a different way that they don't need to do. It just seems like more work than they need to do. That's all I'm saying. So Travis is shaking his head. He has a
Travis
thought
shaking his
on
head.
it. What's up?
But he has
Yeah, they're
thoughts.
just gonna bring it back, man. It's not a loss. It's not like they're building all this and never gonna use it again. They'll use
What,
it.
but why even take it out of the game? Why go through the effort of like removing it and then bringing it back later? It's not like they're doing a
'Cause
lighting
next time
engine
they could bring
update
it
or
back.
something.
They can bring it back better. Maybe that doesn't fit in the game. Maybe they want to make their game leaner. Maybe their files are too big and they're trying to make the game run faster because they're adding stuff. There could be a million reasons, but
I mean, if they
I
put
don't
a
think it's
postmaster and a vault in wherever they
Yeah, they
put it
don't have a
later
vault,
on,
which is interesting. I
yeah,
hate that it doesn't have a vault, by
yeah,
the way.
postmaster and a vault
there's
wherever it
already
goes later, fine.
there's already enough stuff in the game that they don't use that I wonder why it's in the game, like the farm, you know? And it's
Yeah,
just
man.
like the farm is still there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like there's just enough stuff in the game already. I'm not take it out, put it back when you bring this event back inevitably for some other reason. So
Mm.
I mean, the armor's leaving, the Super Black Shader's leaving, then that stuff's gonna end up in Eververse for like $40 or something.
No, I get you, E, on the attunement. I'm with you there. I
Yeah,
think
the
that, like,
attunement I think is the
damn,
one that's
I do like
annoying because
attunement.
like if
Yeah.
you want to focus something right now, if you don't get it, you're just gonna go back to
screwed.
RNG. Yeah, it's
And if you continue to be unlucky all the way to June 3rd, then yeah, you're just oh well. Right? They just oh welling you on that one. So I get that part, but to Travis' point, I
this
do
is what you
understand that.
asked for.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
is what you've been asking for years.
This is we're gonna
Community.
we're gonna give it to you. We what you know what it shows me though? Because the opening paragraph still is consistent with my theory about narrative. Which is weird. They're making all this content that they're gonna scrap away for a little bit, which is extra work. But they still keeping with the theme of we want it to narratively make sense. Shax is giving us these powerful, the most banned weapons in our fight with the witness, and then the witness comes and the expansion drops, and this is gone. You know what I'm saying?
well, they
Again, I'm
even
not.
mentioned there were planning for weapon attunement to return in a new form sometime
Yes.
during Echoes. That's the first episode.
Yes.
So it's just
It'll probably not be that space though. It's just going to be attunement for the seasonal.
yeah, you'll probably just go up
Or
to
what
Shax,
Yeah.
they'll
exotic
have another
weapons.
page or something, maybe select
Mhm.
it. They're not gonna have those like
Or it'll be a new
12
character.
statues.
It'll be somebody in the
Mhm.
mobile base, whatever that's called. I
The
keep forgetting
helm.
the name of it. The helm. Yeah.
So I hear you. It's interesting
I
because
just
they
read
are
that.
creating work for themselves. But
Yeah, it's
it
like
is what it is.
just even if you just take it out and then you rehash it to Shax later, I'm like, it's just there and it functions. Kind of cool looking. Doesn't hurt anything.
Well,
Just
they keep it onslaught though, right? Isn't onslaught
Onslaught's
moving
going to the
into
Vanguard playlist,
to
yeah.
the Vanguard? Right.
They better keep Legend. They better keep all the
Yeah.
difficulties because
Right.
I'll be curious how that all plays. But it's
Mhm.
just it's all in a system that works. Into the Light could just sit there, but no poof, just
Mhm.
everything's gotta go. It's a weird thing, and I know maybe the witness narrative is something bigger than we all know, but I'm very curious to see. This
Going
is
on
just
out.
added onto the pile of I'm curious to
Yeah.
see how all of these little events in
Going
about a
on.
week play out because
It all goes down to this. All chips on the table. They know they gotta nail it.
table stakes.
That's it, man. Table stakes. They got to do it, man. Whether they succeed or not is another thing, but they are all indications or they understand the importance of this narrative and it better hit. It better. So we can't have any inconsistencies. We can't have Shaqs in there talk about something to prepare for something that we already about to be playing. They going all out, man.
I
There's a part of me
appreciate
that likes it.
I appreciate the
But
fact that they really try to tie narrative to so much in this game. Every so often it does get to be a little excessively in the way of like just functionality. I appreciate that they generally try though, even if it's a little corny sometimes. That most
Again,
of the
we're
time,
assuming it's because of narrative.
right?
yeah, of course. It's one of my
We will see.
assumptions.
Could be
One of my
again if
I
they're
still
trying to
think there's
lower
a
the.
chance that they didn't want the game to take 5 minutes to load into an
That
activity.
could be very well a technical answer. That could
And
very well
also,
be.
even
Yeah.
if they imply that it's a story-based reason, that could just be them giving a story-based reason
Based
for
reason
something
for a
that they were
technical
gonna do
issue.
regardless.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
that could very well
So
be.
I
They
wouldn't
could just
take
remove
them
the
at their
tower
word.
and then you just have little clickable dot matrix menus. You can go to
I would
Shacks
love that.
and click to your. You can pick up your bounties. You can have your attunements, and it's all just
I
this
would
one little
love that.
menu.
I'm so
I would.
sick of running through
No,
hallways.
I hate going to the tower. Like I would be okay with
Yeah.
that.
Tower
I would
sucks.
like a little drop zone right next to Saint 14, please.
Yeah. Yeah, or how about one next to Ikora? There's no good way to get to Ikora. It's like
Yeah,
either
that's
you go through the world's worst series of stairwells, or you walk through the
go
longest
pet the dog
hallway
on the way.
ever devised.
Yeah.
It's literally a Sophie's choice. Sometimes I'm like, do I
Yes.
want to be kicked in the balls or punched in the throat? Like that's basically what I have to ask myself when I need to go to Ikora. It's terrible.
They drop you all the way by that landing
Travis
zone.
using Sophie's choice for equating which direction to go in a video game. Definitely valid. 100%
Yeah.
great choice there.
And to Travis' point, it could be very right about space because remember Final Shape, we finally get the 100 extra slots for what
The
you call
vault.
it. They finally have to incorporate that. Remember that? Ooh, you not hype? You're not hype for that 100?
100 more things to delete.
Your vault. What's your vault looking like these days, Trav? What's that vault looking like? Are you a hoarder? What are you doing? With
No.
that vault?
My
It
vault
really
has
is.
a couple things in it in
What's that
case I need
number?
infusion.
What's that number looking like? If you had to guess it, out of the 500
I
slots?
want to
or
see a
600
day
slots?
one raider
I wanna
that go.
know-
No, I want to see
Yeah.
a day one raider that goes in with just 4 to 5 weapons and armor in each slot and an empty vault. I want to see that person.
I probably use like 200 slots.
All right, you got about 200.
That's-
So what constitutes Travis keeping a
Is it
weapon?
more exotics or weapons?
It's like no exotics.
Mm.
I mean, there's really no reason to keep an exotic. You
Right.
can just get it at any time and infuse it.
But
and
I'm
it's
curious. I
always-
need to know the Travis reason for a gun not. I would think you would have like. I mean, I thought the size is small, 200. But I'm curious, like, what makes you keep something?
If it is still in the current meta,
Mm-hmm.
masterworked,
Okay.
has a great role that I care about, I'll
Mm.
keep it.
Oh, there
if
is emotional
it's
attachment for this
If it's,
man.
if
All
it's
right.
a crafted weapon that
Mhm.
I would have to do 330 levels of leveling up to get it back, and there's some
Mhm.
exotics that fall into that category.
Yep.
I'll keep it because it's out of practicality. You don't want to
Mhm.
vault it, and then I
Okay.
just delete everything else. Like I'm very not attached to anything. I delete like pretty much all my armor. I don't. There's
so
really
no
no reason
armor.
to have more
Okay.
than like 2 different armor pieces
Mhm.
or whatever. And then the only thing I keep is whatever the current level is. I'll keep like 10 random pieces of armor or
Infusion.
weapons that are at the max light just for
Yeah.
infusion.
Just
That's
for
literally
infusion.
it. That's
I
it.
feel it.
That's all. Pretty lean, dude. It's pretty
Pretty
lean.
lean. Any ships? Any sparrows? And no
No. No,
cosmetics.
no.
Okay.
No.
Well,
God,
very
No, well, you
lean.
don't need cosmetics.
I know some people keep some of the. I know some people. Well, me.
I was like, who?
That the raid stuff. Like so,
I
they
have
have
a
that
friend.
extra slot that'll have raid functionality. Remember when they came out?
Do
Those
you ever
extra-
use that?
Never.
I
But
have,
Okay,
a,
get
I have
rid
a
of it.
friend, I
I
have
don't
a
have the
friend who
heart to
keeps
delete it.
cosmetic items, said Cog. He's got,
I know, I'm
friend.
very guilty as charged.
No, I'm
with
like,
the-
do
with
you
the
have
raid
a
stuff.
ship, a sparrow, or any of
One.
that?
Yeah, the one that the dawning one that gives you the extra.
That's fine.
Always
Keep
keep
it
that
on
one
your
in.
character.
No, but I
doesn't-
got mad shit. I got ships that match every outfit for every
Oh,
subclass.
Jesus, you care too much.
No, it's a thing. It's fashion destiny. It's destiny. That's what we do.
This
We-
is
you
why I
can't
don't
just
raid
have
with.
the
This is why I don't
outfit.
raid with you. I'll be like, all right, talk to you guys in 2 hours.
I'm mad that what was it when we asked for when you press one button and it has the loadout?
Loadout.
Yeah, I'm mad that that doesn't include the sparrow in the ship and the emblem. Like it's a drip that I gotta have my emblem match my strand, and then I gotta have the hoverboard match the outfit, and I gotta have the ship with the shape. It's a thing. They gotta fix that. They gotta get that together, y'all. I'm gonna put that in the
You
notes.
are overcompensating for your character's doubtless hideous face beneath that helmet.
Okay, man, don't hate. You don't hate. Warlocks and drip out here.
If you really think your warlock's drip, take off the helmet. Show me the face.
We can't do those early D2.
Real cog. If you
get to change your face soon.
Swag,
those early D2 graphics, bro. We ain't.
if
we
you
keep
are
that
gonna
helmet on.
walk, if you're gonna walk the catwalk, cog, I need to see that pout. Okay. And
we running a masquerade out here. No one's gonna know our activities.
That's a great answer. I'm running a masquerade.
Yeah.
I love it.
The models on this catwalk are anonymous.
Yeah, it's insane. It's insane. Oh yeah. I thought everybody did that.
No, I could care less if I look like crayons throw up on me, man.
So you don't change your emblems ever? Y'all rock the same.
No, I change emblems ever. I change. No. I literally just mostly like if I solo flawless a dungeon, that usually hangs on my character. If I did the contest raid, then that's probably what hangs around. It's usually one. It's an accomplishment that bumps out another one, and that is it.
All right. So what about the ship? Like when you did Whisper, right? I'm assuming you kept the Whisper ship, that one, right?
I mean, I have it, but I've rotated through some cool ships. Like,
oh, you change ships? Okay.
I don't do it when I don't switch. Like, no, nothing like your
level, bro. I have on me.
I just literally, I was like, whatever ship, I'm like, oh, that one's kind of cool. I'll switch to that one for a while, and then I'll forget about my ship. I was like, I have one hoverboard now. That's it.
I couldn't even tell you what ship I have on me. And I have not changed my emblem in like 5 years because
y'all really with the Walmart Guardians out here. Y'all really out here with the bargain
movie of the week, so nobody can talk to me. I'm just like, that's my emblem.
It's depressing. Man. All right,
deal with it.
I gotta work with y'all. I gotta work. Warlock's gotta work.
How many solo flawless emblems do you have?
All right, see why you gotta go all in.
How many emblems do you have, Doc? You got that?
That's why I put on the emblems that matter, or you know,
I got one flawless emblem. I got one. And I'll stay there with pride, baby. I did that with randoms. I recorded it on my Xbox recorder.
That was flawless. That wasn't even solo flawless. Yeah, that's just flawless.
Respect. Yeah, I'm ridiculous. I love it. That's another reason. That's my other end game.
I would never change a ship. If I look at a ship, I go through shaders until one looks good on that ship, and I never change that ship. I'm not going to change a ship to match a sparrow, to match an emblem, to match my armor. No way in hell am I doing all that work.
Do you change your title? What about your titles?
No, generally, unless I get
what title. What is the title you Ebontis characters running with in Destiny? What is the title?
I'm trying to remember because it's one that like I don't even think you can get now.
That'd be something you could be proud of. Yeah, from the old one.
It's not Glorious it's not that proud. I mean, there's the one from doing the GMs, which is fine, but everybody's pretty much got that one. I think the one that I like to put on just for fun is the one from the Dreaming City, and I forget what it's called.
Wait, you got Petra's Run?
No, not that. Cursebreaker. It's the one where you go around. Not Petra's. No, not Petra's. Not the raid run. It's Cursebreaker for doing everything on the Dreaming City.
Yeah.
And I don't think you can actually get that one now.
Everybody, put your title up in the chat. What you running with? I'm curious, Trav.
Flawless, I think usually.
I knew you was gonna rock that flawless.
Yeah, I mean, if Blacksmith or Shadow, if I ever would have gotten one of those, if I would have gotten
Blacksmith,
yeah, I was like, Shadow's another good one. Godslayer will be probably one of the best if you can get one.
Prescott with that dead eye Sinister Dream Warrior. Okay.
For some
I'm sorry, what you said, Trav?
I don't know why I put Savior on, but I've had Savior for a while. I think
Savior. All right.
I don't change it very often. Dude, I didn't even go into you know how you meditate at the tree to level up? I didn't even do that. I was like levels behind. I just didn't even bother. I was like, nah, who cares?
No, you want to know what? I finally got up to like level 10 thanks to Onslaught because I'm actually playing with other people.
Which one?
No, you're leveling your guardian ranks.
Oh, the level.
I was stuck at 9 because I do everything by myself. Nobody ever gives me commendations.
Oh
so
my!
No, that's the thing. No, that's the thing is like if I'm farming or recording or if I'm like working on a dungeon.
Commendation requirements because you don't play with people.
I don't have enough commendations.
Ebontis has the weirdest flexes I've ever heard in Destiny. He's
I'm
like,
not
dude, I don't have any
flexing on
friends,
this.
okay? I'm elite, all right? I've
I
got my
never,
friends
literally
list
have
is
never.
empty.
No, it is frustrating because because I'll go play some Iron Banner if I'm gonna grind stuff out. I'll play a little bit of Crucible early in the season, but I don't like just live in Crucible, and I'm typically not doing
Wait a
strikes for no
minute.
reason.
So I was just about to say, you gotta do with blueberries sometime. You don't give commendations after the strikes.
No,
You
I
don't do
try.
commendations after
No,
trial
I
solo.
try
They don't give
to.
him
No, I don't.
commendations.
Oh, half the time people. I try and give. If there are people in an activity, I try and give a commendation to every single person I can.
Okay, all right.
Hey, Cog,
But it just.
you want to hear the commendation I get constantly? Unless I'm playing PvP,
I
then
get best
obviously I
dressed a lot,
commend-
actually. So
I
you're
get best
welcome.
dressed all the time. What you get?
I get best dressed all the time.
Yeah.
All the time. Facts.
And I put 0 effort into my outfit. haven't changed it in like 7 years. I
No,
have like
but
the
what-
same outfit.
But what annoys me about Guardian ranks is because I don't do enough to get the commendations up to like 900. Then I was stuck at level 9, and finally I was just like, I don't care if I'm gonna like, hey, here's a dungeon. Here's my guide to solo flawless a dungeon, or I'm gonna go through and make a guide on a dungeon. That is a lot of what I do is
Yeah,
playing by
solo
myself.
Yeah,
So
solo.
if I get
Weird
stuck,
flex.
Yeah, as a
it's
flex,
not a
though.
flex. It's an annoyance.
It is a flex.
Not a
He's like-
flex.
Because he's like, look, I don't even have time for that combination.
You know, you don't get to decide if it's a flex.
It's
Eve.
not.
That's
No,
the other
I actually do
side.
because the flex would be
No,
positive.
you
This is
don't.
not. This is not a flex. It has
That's
been
like
a
when people
frustration because
say,
I got to Guardian rank 9. I'm like, I would be 11 because I do everything else, but I'm sitting here at 9 because I don't have the friggin' commendations. It's annoying.
This guy
It's like
here.
when
So
other
wait, so you
people
haven't
say,
been
like,
raiding though? That means you still haven't been raiding because you need to get them blues after the raids.
Oh, I
You
know.
haven't been
That's the
raiding.
fact that I got up to 9 this season was from Onslaught. Now that I'm at 10, to get to 11, I would have to raid. So yeah, that's probably not
Yes.
going to happen.
All right. Did you do the Crota, the oversouls, and all that? You did all that?
No, I haven't done that.
Ah, that's why.
Yeah,
that
he does
will get
too.
it.
He's so behind.
Yeah.
I
I'm
will
almost
say-
there.
I've
I'm
been
almost
quite-
there, Trav.
I'm quite behind.
got the
And
catalyst
now,
now.
like Travis, I'm playing other things, but he's just got more time than me. So
Fair enough. Fair
he
enough.
chooses
True, I have
not.
no
to,
loved
he has no. He has no sleep in his schedule. So that
I
helps
also
too.
don't have. I don't watch movies like you. So this is my.
True.
People ask me this a lot. Hogue is like,
True.
dude, I have no idea how you play so many games, and I'm like, this is all I have.
He's like he doesn't
bro.
do anything else.
This is it. This is it.
It's like Travis. Did you watch
All I've
Shogun?
got.
Did you watch all the episodes of Shogun? He's like, no, I was playing this. Did you watch? No, I was playing this. It's like
I'm kind of like
Well-
Travis like that. I ain't go front. My movie game, it took everything for them to. They threatened me to watch Fallout because they were like, "Bro, we're gonna talk about it on the podcast. Please watch
Yeah.
an episode."
you
I'm
kind of
like, "All
have
right," and then I
to.
gotta
You have to.
Yeah. And then I knew with Maddie coming up how big a Fallout. I was like, all right.
You have
and
to.
I ended
yeah.
up loving it. I'm like, oh, this is
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, at least they made you watch a good one.
Not that I don't like TV or movies, or
Yeah.
it. I mean, I kind
No,
of.
but bro, you review,
they're
you
boring
got
a
so
lot of
much.
times,
Yeah.
But yeah, I will review.
You
review
got so
shit.
much going on.
So, but yeah, no, I've got all the exotics still. I'm still up on that
Ooh.
and the catalyst. I think.
Jealous. Jealous. Yeah, I don't got the warlord.
Are you working on your whisper stuff each week?
Yeah,
No.
I'm doing that.
Well,
There's no need for you. I mean, it's just what was it? It's field prep though. I like field prep on it.
field prep is a lot of reserves. It's actually pretty good.
Didn't you say I should wait until the end? I did whisper. I did.
Yeah.
I got it.
Yeah,
got a
I
roll.
think if you do
did
the-
legend yet?
I think if you do the quests, you'll be able to get most of it in one run. Especially if you run with people, you'll be
Yeah.
able to probably do it all in one run. Because the blights that you
Mhm.
shoot during legend probably could do them all as you go through, and then if you finish
Mhm.
the run in the end, it'll probably proc all of them. So yeah, you'll be able to do them later.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
And
I'll
then
do
0
that.
hours on what? What'd they say? The 14th or something, I think. So
Yeah,
that's like
something like
truly the last 3 weeks of the season
Mm-hmm.
will be 0 hour, which should be fun because at that point, I
Yeah.
think we'll all be pretty tired of Onslaught
Yes.
at that
Yes.
point. And then that will be
already,
the.
first week 1, dude. Week 1.
Oh, I
was
know
out.
you checked out a while ago, but I was just saying for the average, trying to grind for those shinies.
Why are people still playing it? I don't get it.
Shinies.
Bro, engagement is crazy right now. I
Okay,
was
so they're
checking it.
doing it for the rewards, not for the fact. Like everybody
Yeah.
agrees it's boring, right? Everybody agrees.
It's
boring.
redundant after a while, of course. Of course.
here's the
after a while,
question,
you gotta
though.
do so much
Also,
with it.
I think the defensive stuff is not well designed. Like
I
No,
agree. It needs to
mines
be
are
better.
pretty much waste.
That was what I
turrets
said the
are
first
kind of a waste of
podcast
time
we had.
upgrading.
Yeah.
Agreed. No, I agree. I have to give you that.
It
I
doesn't
feel like
feel worthwhile, so it's not enough to really augment the experience.
Do not do trip mines. Skip trip mines.
don't ever do trip
Don't ever
mines.
do trip mines. Decoys and turrets. That's it.
Yes, absolutely.
Do not
And even
touch
turrets are minimally useful.
You got to
from
get
what
them up to max for a big run. If you get a turret up to max, it'll put in some work, but it's got to get there.
Yeah, and that Shaxx decoy is lit. I ain't go for it.
I-
Yeah.
The decoys decent.
Yeah, because all the big boys go to the Tormentors go to them.
Yep.
They all, you could get all, just take care of them that way. Shout out to Sinister, the update.
Yeah, and don't spend anything in the beginning either. And that's kind of the thing.
Sinister, I need a ghost of the
3...
deep checkpoint, sir. I got to get that navigator. I don't got that one.
I don't have it either. So
yeah.
The amount of time I put in that dungeon and still never got a solo flawless annoys me. For the times, because it was a 2-hour run. And I would get to the witch, the
witch, over his body.
The wizard, floating over his body. And I know the
Yeah.
mechanics. I would go through like 4 or 5 damage phases, and some stupid thing would happen.
Yeah,
and I finally got to the point where I was like, I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah, I feel you.
And other things came up, and I was just
do
like,
need to do Warlord because I need that sidearm. That I don't have that sidearm.
oh, the bow? Yeah, no, I don't have it either.
No, the sidearm, the one everyone's going crazy about.
It's a crossbow, but it's a sidearm. Yes.
I mean, sorry, wrong. Not the exotic, legendary.
Oh, the
sidearm in
rocket
that.
sidearm.
Yeah, I don't have that at all. Never dropped.
You got it before us? Yes, whatever it is, you got it before us. Yeah, absolutely did.
Mm-hmm.
Well, who's gonna go have some food and play some No Rest of the Wicked?
No Rest for the Wicked, right here.
Download
Let's
it.
do it.
Gotta put the codes
I wish
in.
it had multiplayer. It doesn't come out with multiplayer until the first update.
Yeah, that's one of the things they're working on.
I forget it's multiplayer. That's
Yeah,
right.
it's an ARPG. It's supposed to be multiplayer, but right now,
How many? 2 to 2?
I
Four,
don't know.
4. We going Diablo style.
I mean, yeah, it's an ARPG. I don't think they've announced the full details yet, but that would be my guess. It is part of the update. They have the roadmap of like the next 4 updates before presumably it starts to get ready to leave early access.
Yeah.
but
Also, one other thing I saw
think
people
it'll
were
be in
getting
early access
into.
for long. It's pretty it feels pretty fleshed out.
But I'm not in it yet, but I signed up to try and get on the Hades 2 technical test.
Yeah, me too.
Oh man, I want to play that too.
Yeah, signed up.
Hades 1 is one of the best games I've ever played.
Yeah,
so if it can get, I know, like the music, I mean, it's super giant, good. But like the music in Hades was another level pretty much. But no, just the loop of how it goes, and just so much was polished about that game. But if you look up, they did a stream about Hades 2, and the technical test will slowly roll out. It looks like, because she's a different character, she's definitely good. It's going to be a little different. It looks like I didn't want to watch it all. I kind of want to play it myself, but man, I want that. Like Hades 2, they're probably going to be like, "Oh, you're in the technical test" as I go on vacation. Damn it. We'll see. But all right. Well, thank you everybody for hanging out today. We should have a guest next week, returning guest, so you'll know him when he's here. Should be interesting. And you guys got anything else you want to say? Any highlights coming up?
I have one thing to say before we go.
Let's go.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to be doing an episode of Fireteam Chat tomorrow with Destin Legary and Paul Tassi.
Hey,
let's
there you
go. I love it.
So
episode
look
302.
for that episode to go live sometime tomorrow, and Guardians out.
Nice. The boys are back. I get to see Tassi and Trav go at it. That'll be fun.
Oh my god!
What take does he have now that you're annoyed with? Yeah, what take does he have now that you're annoyed with?
You know, I'm actually not annoyed by it because it's just been reliable. Like now, when I see a Tassi take, I just assume like, okay, whatever he says, it's probably the opposite. Like just kind of. Just kind of love it. It is funny though. I mean, his perspective is cool because he's just such a different player than me. But yeah, I don't know. It'll be nice to hang out with him.
It'll be fun. Yeah. That's dope, man. I can't looking forward to. Gotta check that out. The boys back on FTC. Salute. Yeah, nothing else really going for me. Just planning a lot of traveling and a bunch of games, and then getting ready for I got to get the stuff done this month because I'm getting ready for Hellblade, man. I'm a Hellblade guy, so I'm getting ready for that one.
Like that's a stream it in 2 days kind of game, but that'll be.
Yeah, I need that. I just need to hit all my.
The only reason I would wait on that one is for me personally is because I'm waiting to kind of let the OLED monitors drop.
Oh,
and I want the 32-inch 4K OLED. I've got a 32-inch 4K, but I want the OLED to. And I know this is like
when those drop.
Some are out now.
Okay.
But I kind of want all of them to drop and to kind of let somebody review all of them to figure out kind of where they are.
Yeah.
It's kind of between the QD OLED and WOLED and all that stuff. So it's a little bit of they're all going to be good. It's like, what's your kind of final preference thing? But I just kind of want them all to be out there. So
yeah.
That would be the only reason I'd wait because it would just look that much better
Yeah,
because it's going to
of
be
course.
visually
Oh,
fantastic.
bro, and
Yeah.
your setup is gonna be sick.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. And
Well,
probably run Crota again this week because I'm like 28 of 30 oversouls. I got the catalyst, but just got to finish off the damn oversouls. They keep making me run this damn raid, and they cheat with the damn oversouls.
I got that thing to drop that just auto completes the
and
catalyst.
finish, you got the
so-
35 to drop. Yeah,
Get out
I
the
thought you
chat.
told me that.
I hate that. That's that streamer
Yeah.
loot stuff.
Yes, Travis.
Honestly,
Travis the
that
streamer.
was like a boon of like if Destiny did if Bungie did it on purpose, they were like, we really want him to go into the final shape with like the
Yep.
most happy eyes possible and not have to play this raid a whole bunch. So
You
to
know
be
what it
clear
is?
though, I
Mhm.
did grind all the way up and got the to drop and then started like the very beginning of getting the catalyst and then that's when
Yeah.
it happened. So
Ah.
it's not like I just got it right away.
Bro, and that catalyst
But,
thing is weird. You got to get the knights to spawn out. And you got to find knights in this
Yep.
short amount of time
Yep.
during these encounters. You ever did this thing? It's weird.
No, I
I've never
haven't.
seen
I
a
did that part,
catalyst
yeah.
thing like this.
I haven't
Yeah,
gone
like
through
Yeah,
all
they
you
of
have to do
spawn.
that part before you complete
Yeah,
the
like they
catalyst. So I
spawn in
did it.
weird places. They hide, and then you got to have people call them. All right, they're over here. Then only certain people can attack them. It's weird. It's a weird catalyst thing, but we finally got it done. And now I just got to get the damn oversouls. But yeah, that'll be that. And then I'll be done with that one.
Cool.
Yeah,
I'll
I
see
will
you
be
guys
working.
next week.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll be working on my review for Tales of Kinzera's House. So look forward to that one.
Are
Comes
you
out
reviewing No Rest for the Wicked too?
I'm gonna try. So
Oh, I
I'm-
guess it's already out, so you're not that incentivized, huh?
yeah, it's like
You-
I'm
you-
probably actually what I will do, depending on if I can get enough time. I might do a tips video if people want to do that one to kind of jump in for how combat and kind of a starter guide for that one, and then Zhao, and then I might do once I get more time before I leave. I might try and get a review done, but trying to figure out what I'll schedule while I'm gone too for content. So it's kind of weird, but we'll see.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
All right, well, gentlemen, chat, everybody, been fun. It's been a little goofy before, and also thanks for putting up with the movie talk, but we enjoy all forms of media here. And count down the days here, episode 293.
Yeah.
I don't know where 300 is going to fall. We are trying. We'll see. We're barely going to be able to take time away to do a podcast on that Thursday now that the raid's going to be the next day. It's going to be a 30-minute podcast.
Oh.
How's the campaign? Thumbs up, thumbs down. Are you guys,
Yeah.
how's your loot going? Thumbs up, thumbs down. Are you guys ready for the raid? Thumbs down. Okay, get back to
no.
it. See ya. That's going to be the podcast on the Thursday the 6th.
I'm
That's
down.
it's gonna be tough because he's got to be reviewing.
Yeah, I know.
I'm gonna be in LA. That's gonna be a tough one.
We might have to
I
skip that one. If you're
Yeah,
going to be in
we
LA, it
may.
might be get
I'm gonna be in
skipped.
I will see how the hotel internet would. Yeah, but
But I
it's
mean,
gonna be
honestly,
rough.
like we probably should just be playing, not podcasting.
Yeah,
that
because
day.
we got to grind for that
Yeah.
that raid.
So 300 will probably be the week after, and then if the
Yeah.
or depending on how things go,
Yeah.
because I'll see if you guys run a podcast when I'm gone for that week. But if we don't do
Mhm.
that one and we don't do that one, 300 would be with that prospective guest I'm
With that
working on.
perspective, come back. Oh, okay.
That
We
might
got
work.
Options.
We'll
That
see.
might work. We'll see.
Do we have a pool for podcast length for this show? You guys could probably guess at the start of it because this is a shorter one. Still,
Yes.
All right, on that episode, or on that note, I should say, this is the end of the episode. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you, chat. Thank you, 3 Geeks, for the super chat. And I believe there was one more earlier. If I missed it, I'm sorry. But thank you guys for the support and the love. And we will see you guys very, very soon. Probably next week, because after that, I'll be out of town.
Oh, I haven't heard that in a minute. That's been a minute.
So for this episode, it has been
The last word.
Word.